What's going on, everybody? Crazy Dog back with my Browns Jaguars Week 14 preview. As my 7-5 Cleveland Browns are finally back at the dog pound after 2 weeks out west, where, let's be honest, they didn't look good at all. I mean, to be fair, the defense has looked like butt cheeks the last 2 weeks, but the offense has had somewhat of a pulse. I mean, when DTR was playing against Denver, he was actually moving the ball, right? As the game went on, it actually looked like he was starting to get it going. And then, of course, he got hurt. PJ Walker came in, and I was like, yep, we're done. And then against the Rams, they bring in Joe Flacco off the freaking street, 38 years old. He goes out there slinging that thing. I mean, damn. All right, you know, Elijah Moore had arguably his best game as a Brown. Go figure. It was with a guy that he played with in New York. So, of course, they had that instant chemistry. And then, of course, Amari Cooper went out. Of course. Can't go a game without someone getting hurt. Right? Of course. That's the rule with the Browns, right? It's crazy, man. It is. But, yeah. You're not going to beat Matthew Stafford if you can't actually get to him. Talk about getting slaughtered. That dude picked us apart. I don't even think we laid a finger on him. I mean, the only reason they had to wash his jersey is because he worked up a little bit of a sweat slaughtering our asses. I mean, my God. Now I get it. We were without Denzel Ward, and Myles Garrett's been banged up and everything. Yeah, every team has to deal with that. Nobody else stepped up. We had no pass rush, and our secondary was getting cooked all game. And the thing is, they weren't really going after Greg or MJ. No, they were going after Mike Ford and Khalef Halassi. Like, Sean McVay was using that brain of his, and he was like, all right, we're just going to expose that special teams / practice squad corner you got over there, trying to guard Puka and all those guys, right? And then, of course, Cooper Kupp had to get his touchdown at the end. And believe it or not, despite all the adversity, the Browns were still in the game. They were down by 1 point. And then it all just, poof, right? We forced a punt. Looking good, right? Get the ball back, drive down the field, possibly take the lead, and it's intercepted. That's pretty much what it was like. And then after that arm punt interception, it was a wrap. Because they scored 2 touchdowns, we turned it over on downs, and then, of course, they got a safety. It literally crumbled all the way to the ground after that interception. Any positive vibes or good energy that we had, gone in a flash. And even Joe Flacco admitted that he was kind of late on that throw. I think if he would have threw it a little bit earlier, he probably would have had Elijah. Of course, John Johnson III, right? Gets to freaking pick off the arm punt. And then he goes on social media running his mouth. Dude didn't really do anything here. I can't tell you how many times that dude blew coverages. Right? You'd see the quarterback throw his way, and the receiver would be wide open. Thanks a lot, Joe Woods. He's the main culprit because he's running the defense. But you gotta freaking execute. Speaking of Joe Woods, what's up with our defense playing like the 2000 Ravens defense at home and then turning around and giving me PTSD from last year on the road? Like, what's it? Right? This defense plays like a top tier defense at the dog pound, right? They go on the road, and it's almost like Joe Woods took over our defensive coordinator spot. Like, hey, yo, Jim, what gives, bruh? Isn't defense supposed to travel? I think they forgot our defense back at the hotel or maybe back in Cleveland. Because, my God, they got absolutely butchered by Russell Wilson and Matthew Stafford in back-to-back weeks. And now, originally, we were supposed to face Trevor Lawrence in the 8-4 Jacksonville Jaguars, of course. But in their loss last night in overtime, Trevor Lawrence got hurt late in the game. And CJ Beathard came in. And I mean, he didn't look great, but he moved the ball a little bit, you know. But typical CJ Beathard, he did what you'd expect him to do. Not really much of anything. And then Christian Kirk got hurt too, but they still have ETN. They still have some really good weapons over there. So they ain't no slouch. And of course, Doug Peterson's their coach. And he's used to, operating an offense with a backup quarterback. After all, he won a freaking Super Bowl with one. Right? But yeah, this should be a very fun game. I know a few Jags fans here on YouTube. Of course, my guy, UCF Jaguar and Jagganoff. Yes, that's his actual YouTube name. When I first saw his YouTube name, when I first met that guy, I was like, wait, that's his real YouTube name? That's creative, at least. But yeah, shout out to all the Jags fans that, follow the channel and everything. Overall, really cool fan base, and it's actually really cool to see that team good again. They're actually experiencing consistent winning football for the first time since what? Byron Leftwich? David Garrard? Has it really been that long? I mean, they had that little run, but with Blake Bortles, but that was what, 1 year in 2017? Ironically, that was the year we were ass. Yeah. Now, as far as anything else goes, I mean, this should be a banger. Joe Flacco versus CJ Beathard. Yeah. Or it could be DTR versus Beathard. Unless Trevor Lawrence miraculously recovers from his high ankle sprain, then we might get Joe Flacco versus Trevor Lawrence, which would be fun. Or DTR versus Trevor, which would be interesting. But of course, when the schedule came out, it was looking like Deshaun versus Trevor. But of course not. Nope. Trevor followed Deshaun? Or was there a quarterback in between there? I literally forgot. It's been so long. Oh man. I'm pretty sure Trevor followed Deshaun. Deshaun was there at Clemson. He left. And then Trevor took over. I'm pretty sure. And then, of course, DJ Ungalele took over. And now they have Cade Klubnik. Wow. Crazy things over there in Clemson, right? Not as great as they used to be. But maybe they'll be on the rise again. But enough talking about college football. Let's talk about this game. So we're going to start off with the series history. And Jacksonville leads the overall series 12-6. Their last win came during our winless season in 2017. And the Browns beat them the next matchup in 2020 in Jacksonville against Nick Foles? Was it? No, it wasn't Nick Foles. Who was it? Glennon. It's been Glennon. Yeah, I think it was Glennon. Oh my God. I know they had Nick Foles too, but I'm pretty sure it was Glennon. Correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, after that, they became really good, of course. But this should be a good game. Now let's get right into the 3 keys to victory. Yeah. Key number 1, defense has to show up. Now I think they will because they're at home. And like I said, our defense plays like the 2000 Ravens when they're at home. If we were on the road, I'd be skeptical. But I think the defense is going to show up this week. Just have a hunch. Number 2, this is the G.I. Joe reference. Go Joe! Yeah! If Kevin does indeed start Joe Flacco. Which he hasn't announced yet. Now, if it was my decision, I'd be like, yeah, I'm going to give Joe Flacco another shot. See if he could follow up what he did last week. And hopefully our defense actually shows up. Because believe it or not, if our defense actually showed up against the Rams, we might have been able to win that game. But we already knew what happened. They got bitched by Matthew Stafford. And now they get to face CJ Beathard. And I'll tell you what, if defense goes out there and gets bitched again by CJ Beathard, I'll start having my questions about Jim Schwartz. How do you look so good against Brock Purdy, right? Who's really good over there in San Francisco, right? You come out here and look like ass against CJ Beathard. But again, injuries, hard to play him, but that can't be an excuse, right? Next man up. Let's go out there and beat their freaking faces in, okay? Damn. But hopefully they start Joe Flacco, but we'll see if DTR is ready to go. Could be. I mean, he could come off the concussion protocol and then maybe he goes out there and slings it around, right? You never know. I mean, after all, look what the Jags did against the Bungles, right? I mean, I'm literally going to look at the stats from that game, and I'm literally curious. How did they do against Browning? I'm doing this live in the video. I'm not cutting or anything here. All right, so I'm looking at the box score right now. Jake Browning, 32 of 37, 354 yards, and 1 touchdown. Jake Browning absolutely torched their defense. Makes me feel good, right? Especially if you have Joe Flacco, knowing what he can do. Now, if we don't have Amari, that's kind of a concern. But then you'd have to rely on Elijah Moore to step up. Cedric Tillman, we need you to step up too. Especially if Amari's out. But if Amari plays, oh, we good. Oh, we fine. Yeah, seeing what Jake Browning did to that Jag defense, I feel good about it. That's if Joe Flacco plays. But we'll see. Again, Kevin hasn't announced it yet. And then key number 3, this is a big one. Take care of the ball and force mistakes. We didn't force a single turnover against Matthew Stafford. Right? Not a single one. And the only turnover we forced against Russell Wilson was a fumble. And then, of course, PJ Walker couldn't even take care of the ball himself. Oh my God, bro. I would just legit cut PJ Walker and make Joe Flacco the overall backup. Like, straight up. But yeah, we got to take care of the ball and force mistakes. And then as far as my player to watch, I'm going Elijah Moore. Especially if Joe plays. I mean, even if DTR plays, we're going to have to rely heavily on Elijah Moore if no Amari Cooper. Because Elijah is arguably the best receiver we have other than Amari. Right? That's why we went out and acquired him. Because we feel like he could really go out there and get the job done. Now, we might also get Marquise Goodwin back, which would be huge, especially with Joe. Because we know Joe can slang it, and he can throw that thing deep. We might actually see Joe Flacco to a Marquise Goodwin deep ball, huh? We might actually see Marquise Goodwin get a deep ball. Now, Deshaun tried that a couple times, but never worked. We'll see if that happens if and when Marquise comes back soon. Hopefully he comes back pretty soon because he's been out for a couple weeks now. Kind of concerning now. But yeah, concussions are nothing to mess with. Now, my prediction, I'm going to go 24-13 Browns. If Joe plays, honestly, I'm going to go with it no matter who plays at quarterback. I think our defense actually forces a turnover and we score off of it. And then we get a couple more touchdowns in there as well. And we go out there and, bounce back at home. And we get to 8-5 on the year with the Bears coming up. Things are looking kind of shady, but, overall, we're not dead yet. We're still in the wild card somehow. All we got to do is hopefully get some guys back and get back on this winning side of things. Start playing serious football again, especially on defense. Man, I would hate to be in that film room on defense, man. Oh my God. Especially the secondary. room. Oh my god, bro. Those secondary coaches are probably laying into those guys right now, bro. For real. I mean, you were without Denzel Ward, and without him, they just absolutely bullied the corners that were supposed to fill his role. Like, they didn't even really go after MJ or Greg that much. I mean, not much you could do there. But yeah, we'll see how they do on Sunday. Hopefully, Denzel comes back. Wishful thinking, I know, but you never know, right? Maybe we get Cameron Mitchell back. I think he's slated to come back off IR soon, so could use him coming back. That'd be great. He'd be much needed because he's actually been solid when he's played. That's really all I got, guys. And as always, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe, hit the bell, become a member for exclusive perks like cool emotes and whatnot. And again, shout out to all the Jags fans that are subscribed to the channel. And should be a good game, hopefully. But with that being said, I'm Crazy Dog. Let's go Browns. Beat the Jags. Let's get to 8-5 on the season. Back at the dog pound. It's good to be home. All right. See you guys later. Go Browns. I'm Crazy Dog. And I'm out. Bye-bye.